as you head back into the dining room section where the leftover boar had been, you hear some movement going on in the foyer. You hear footsteps going down the staircase. You hear a door slamming from the opposite side of the foyer. And you just hear like a bunch of people or a bunch of things collecting in that space, in that foyer space. You also hear Celeste getting closer and closer with her clanky clank.
I'm gonna go back into the foyer with Remi, and I'm gonna be like, "Keep those arrows knocked."
So I'm not sure if I explained this clearly.
Yeah.
There was sound going into the foyer. So when you step in there, there's going to be something there.
Oh yeah.
So you're good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
oh yeah.
okay.
We're going into
cool.
combat.
All right, cool. So Remi pulls back his bow. You do the whole like kick open the door again. And as you do that, you see a total of 5 different skeletons.
Oh man.
You see most of them, they all look similarly like bedraggled as that one had before, and they all sort of snap their heads towards you and have sort of like this sort of pop backwards as if like, oh shit, oh, there's someone here. Ooh, okay. When they see you, 2 or 3 of them pull out swords. One of them pulls up his hook for hand, and they are all ready and waiting to jump at you. In that moment, I will say that you have surprise.
Yep.
I will say you have surprise, but I will also say after that, I will have you guys roll initiative just because there's so many people.
Sounds good. I am going to cast Thunder Wave as a, so kind of like hitting everybody in a 15-foot cube if that hits everybody.
Okay, does that center on you?
It does, so I may step into the room and do that. Okay.
Cool. I'm glad that you said step into the room because otherwise I was definitely going to have that hit Remi. So you like just sort of jump into the middle of everything?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do Thunder Wave. Yeah, as a first level spell. So that is going to be a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, okay.
Of at least 15.
All right. I will also roll initiative for everybody. Do you actually you real quick roll Larissa's initiative, and then that way I can just figure you in.
That's an 8.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all but one of them failed their Constitution, so that's really easy to track. So what you feeling? What's the situation with that?
So I'm gonna roll. That's an 8. That's a 3. So they all take 11 damage.
Sweet.
And they get pushed 10 feet away from me.
Man, they all take 11 damage. Mm-hmm. Okay. What does the one that succeeded? Do they get anything?
Oh shoot, they take half damage. So that's 5, and they're not pushed.
That's crazy.
First level spell, man.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm glad that I have a history of not giving characters enough HP, and so my players just like kill them instantly. I'm glad that I buffed it up a little bit. But yeah, so you do that. You roll into or run into the center of this room right as everybody is like, you kick open the door. Remi is holding his longbow up, points it at all of the folks. Everybody's eyes, all of their eyes are on Remi, are on the longbow. And in that confusion, in that moment, you rush into the center of the room and do however you activate your spells generally.
Yeah.
And just explodes outwards, releasing this huge sound. Definitely something that the people back at the boats could hear at least a little glimpse of. And at least four of the skeletal figures get knocked backwards. One of them holds its ground. One of them one with a hook for its hand holds its ground very, very solidly. And in that moment, Remi follows up and decides to deliver his attack onto the one that did not get moved. Ooh, boy.
Uh-huh.
Critical failure.
Oh, no.
Critical failure, Remi. It's your very first attack, Remi. Remi, what have you done? What am I going to have happen in this critical attack? You know what? I'm going to say as he fires, The arrow shoots out and it does manage to hit the person, but in that moment, the string snaps.
Oh no, that's horrible.
I am going to let the actual attack hit. So that's, and it did. Fuck, that's a good ass hit. That was good. Yeah, it hits for 10 damage. Basically like hitting into one of the eye sockets and like cracks out the back, and the arrow is just sort of like sitting in there. Yeah, it's nasty. It's rough
no
looking.
bueno. Oh damn.
This figure with the hooked hand is standing there with the arrow sticking through their skull, and they look towards one of the other figures, one with a peg leg, who is carrying a scimitar, or a short sword, I guess. And that one rushes forward to, since you are right next to them, to try to attack at you.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for damage.
Where's our tank?
Yeah, I know. They're on the way. You can hear like this clank, clank, clank outside. Did you leave the door open or did you close it after you came in?
Ooh, that's a good point. I don't think I remember. You can choose. I didn't say.
Okay, I'll say it's closed.
Okay.
Because I want to do something. So this character with the peg leg, they rush at you with their sword and they swing at you. Oh man, oh boy. I rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 2.
Oh no.
So what's his name? Remi got a critical fail. This one rolled a 2, but they have a +8 to hit. Does 10 hit your AC?
10 does not hit my AC.
Okay, so they swing at you and they barely miss. In their other hand, they're holding a dagger, and they swing at you with that as well. Does a 19 hit?
That definitely hits.
That definitely hits. Dagger's not nearly as strong though. Oh boy, though. Okay, 8 damage.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember how much HP you have.
I have 46.
46. Okay, so you're good for now.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
For now.
After that one swings at you, the one that has the arrow sticking out of its head, it turns towards Remi and pulls the arrow out and is going to rush at him and try to just knock that arrow straight into Remi's chest.
Oof.
He's going to try for that. Oh, and he gonna do a good job too.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was 25 to hit. This guy's a strong boy. No, you know what? This is an improvised weapon, so I would not give him quite that much, but still, it's enough to hit. So he shoves this arrow, this bolt at Remi, and it deals, not that much, 3 damage. One of the more nondescript looking ones that doesn't have, they have all their limbs. Mm-hmm. It turns towards you as well and is going to try to swing a short sword at you. 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's just a lucky roll. That isn't even like them being particularly good. That's just a lucky roll. 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
Not that bad. Then it is your turn.
All right, then it's my turn. So I am going to use, because I'm kind of annoyed at these people.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 2 people around me. Mm-hmm. How close are the other people? Are they within 5 feet?
Yes, they would be within 5 feet.
All right, so
except for the one that just ran up and attacked Remi.
Okay.
That one's a little bit farther away.
So I'm gonna attack those people with Snylock Snowball Swarm.
I've never even heard this name before.
Yeah, apparently it's a thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Can they please make a dex save? 15.
They definitely can make a dex save. Well, let's hope that they can't make a dex save.
That's true. Let's hope they can't make a dex save of 15.
Okay, so the first one did real bad with a 7. Next one did a 16, so one of them did okay.
Okay.
The next one did a 13,
okay.
which is not making it. And then the final 2, 19, and 4.
All right.
That was
3 made it, 2 didn't. 3
yes.
didn't make it, 2 made it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So that's 3d6 damage to those people that didn't make it. So that's a 4, 5, and 6, which is 15 damage to those people, and then half damage to the other people.
Gotcha.
Which will be 7.
Oh, one of those was attacking Remi, so he was out of range. Well, I'll say that's the one that like made it.
Okay.
You know, he just didn't get hit. So two of the ones that got hit. Describe to me what this looks like.
So it's basically just like a flurry of snowball. So it's literally just like a bunch of snowballs that fall out of the sky. Like
How have I never heard of this?
Like, yeah, it's called Snylock Snowball Swarm.
That is so good. I love it.
It's from the Elemental Evil Player's Companion.
Oh, that's why I haven't heard of it. That's really good. I love it. So yeah, one of the pirates got hit really bad with this, or one of the skeletons got hit really bad with this. Two of them got hit. Actually, no, so it's half damage. So three of the three that were like relatively nondescript, they all take enough damage to take them down.
All
so
right.
describe to me like what that looks like as they get pelted with this. Like, are you like raising your hand above your head? Do you have like a focus or like?
Yeah,
how does that
I have a magic focus. So I guess what's happening is they're coming out of this magic focus, and it just like pelts them like in the face, so that like their skeletal face is like caked. Does that make sense? Like they're it's like the inside of the skull is just like caked full of snow, and that somehow like freezes them, and so they fall over.
Nice. Are you going for a kill shot, or are you going for just like a kill shot? I say in quotes.
No, I don't think I'm killing anybody.
Okay.
Also, it doesn't make sense, I suppose, for snowballs to kill you. They won't be getting up for a while, I'm assuming.
Yes. So these ones get hit in the face, and as the snow like impacts and fills in the spaces, it freezes and hardens in place, sort of like solidifying on them and like latching on. And as it like hits multiple different joints and stuff, they just sort of lock up. And three of the skeletal figures collapse and drop their short swords by their sides. The other two look towards you and are like, well, the one that you hit, it looks the one with the peg leg looks very determined in this moment. The one with the hook for hand turns away from Remi, looks at you with that arrow sticking out of his skull, and shakes his hook above his head.
I shake my hand back.
And in that moment, the doors explode inward as Celeste bursts inside. Her foot just breaks through the oak doors, long sword held above her head, and she is going to make a attack against the closest one to her, which is the peg-legged one, which is near you. So as you're standing there, she just slams her sword down and does mediocre. Let's see what she adds to that. Sweet. Okay. Well, not sweet. So she swings her sword down, and as she does, this other one lifts his sword up and just barely deflects her out of the way, and manages to step sort of to the side, deftly to the side, as her heavy sword hits into the ground. Does she have multi? However, Celeste, I gave multi-attack. So she swings the sword back around, and that one's a critical hit.
Oh my gosh.
So she, slams the first one in the ground, then pulls it back up, and it's very evident. This is a very like heavy, weighty sword. She swings it around her head and brings it down onto this figure again, dealing double damage, which is quite a lot. 21, dealing 21. This figure looks much worse for wear, but is still standing. Prepare yourself for combat. Destroy these stupid things, okay?
Thanks, Celeste.
And with that, you get the benefit of leadership. Add a 1d4 to your next roll.
Ah, nice.
It is the pirate captain's turn, the one with the peg leg, which is going to... I feel like in this moment, I was going to have them attack you, but I feel like in this moment they would go for Celeste again, just because they just got hit real bad. And they glance off of her plate armor, and then with their dagger, glance off of that again. Then the one that is standing next to Remi or I believe they had already turned back towards you. They are going to continue on, try to get you again. Critical failure.
Oof.
Critical failure. They swing down with their sword and accidentally, as you sort of deftly step out of the way, their sword hits into the peg leg of the other one.
Oh no!
Just sort of lopping it off and leaving the other one a little bit topsy turvy. All loosey goosey.
All right, I am going to use Firebolt, which is a cantrip, against the hook-armed one person. So that is a d20 plus 7, which is a 17 plus 7, 24.
24. Yeah, that definitely hits. You know, for a moment, I thought you said fireball, and I was like, oh, so you just want to, like, fucking just destroy everyone.
No, Firebolt. It is a cantrip.
Yeah, much better.
All right, but it is 2d10 of fire damage. So that's a 7
crazy.
and a 10. 17. Oh, wait, was the d4 to my initial roll? Probably was.
Yes.
Okay, all right, doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right.
This one is like basically point blank to you, and holding up your arcane focus again, you just sort of like reach out, fire like surges out and blasts into this thing and knocks them backward. In that moment, Remi rushes forward and takes one of the gold daggers that he had pulled from the kitchen and tries to slam it into the back of the head of one of those two. He is going for those kill shots. Oh boy, he does not do great there.
Remi.
Does not do great there.
Remi.
He doesn't critically fail or anything like that, but he misses his shot. And Celeste, so Celeste is still locked in with the peg-legged one, who is now at disadvantage because of their leg was just lopped off. So Celeste is going to roll with advantage. So they miss their first attack, but then they're going to go again with multi-attack, still with advantage. And they miss that one as well. Somehow, the crazy way that the pirate captain is wobbling around just happens to throw Celeste off enough that she just misses like crazy. And in that moment, it is I believe it's your. No. It's back over to the captain's.
Yeah.
There's too many people. I need to get back to you. The captain with the peg leg follows up and tries to attack her back, and he does manage to hit and does a fair amount of damage to them. But Celeste, being the tank that she is, rolls with it pretty aptly. And then the one that is locked up with you, the hook hand one, that is still sort of like reeling back from your attack, is going to turn and is going to try to like push past you to sort of disengage and rush straight out of the front door of this place.
Yeah, I'm going to take an opportunity attack, I think, because these guys are a little bit scary now. So, is that just an unarmed strike?
No, I guess if you don't have a weapon on you, then yes, it would be an unarmed strike.
I guess I could also just hit him with my dagger.
Okay, go for it.
All right, dagger time. 20 to hit.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
All right, so that is a 1d4 plus 1 piercing damage. That's 3 damage.
3 damage, yeah. So you managed to give a nice little jab into this one as it's running past you. You feel the sensation of like this blade grinding against some of the bone and maybe like chip off a rib, which clatters against the ground. But they still manage to rush past you. Remi holds up his bow and tries to take a shot. Well, no, sorry, doesn't have his bow. Remi takes one of the daggers and tries to throw it at the back of this one's head as they're rushing out, and does not manage to land that shot.
Remi, useless.
Remi is not doing great. Finally, Celeste, still locked in with this peg-legged one, is going to take a fierce attempt. I got this. I can handle him all by myself. I promise. That was just a fluke.
Just imagine this guy like jumping around on a peg on his other leg, like avoiding her.
Exactly. And jeez. Wow. Okay, finally. Okay, so even with advantage and multi-attack, I have just for the first time after 8 rolls gotten above a 5.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so she manages to land one hit, and it does 6 damage, or sorry, 16 damage. As that happens, the leg, the whole peg leg gets sort of lopped out from under it, and it sort of slams down onto its back. And you see them like shaking their fist towards the one that has run away, and their jaw seems to be moving as if they're trying to say something, but obviously you aren't hearing anything because no vocal cords. Then as their eyes turn back towards you, you three holding your magical focus and the longsword and the dagger, or the knives, I guess, this skeletal figure raises up their weapons in their hands and opens their palms and lets them drop to the ground and just waves their hands, and you see their mouth moving as if like, oh, hey. We're all cool here.
All right. I'm gonna stop fighting and be like, okay. I think it's surrendering.
And you see it like nod its head emphatically, and you see its jaw moving more. Like, yes, yeah. Definitely.
What do Remi and Celeste do?
Celeste holds her sword up towards the captain's chin, does that whole like set the sword underneath the tip of the chin and like lift it up, like look at him in the face and said, "Oh, Captain, my captain, what should I do with this undead monstrosity?"
Well, my Whitman fan of a friend, let's question him. He may know something about where this treasure is.
And with that, the captain looks back and forth, like gestures towards you with their hands and says, and is nodding their heads like, yeah, listen to her.
Huh. All right. Next question is, does anybody have any pen and paper on them? How about this? I am going to, I am going to give him a piece of parchment and some chalk.
Okay.
And just be like, where is the treasure?
He
has arms. I'm assuming he has both arms.
Yeah, he has arms. Okay. He has arms, he has hands, he has fingers. He takes it at first and looks a little confused by what's going on, but looking, at Celeste holding that sword at him, he's just like, okay, whatever. And what did you say to him exactly when you handed it to him?
Where's the treasure?
He takes the pencil and the paper, and he starts scribbling furiously. And you are, just sort of like peeking over his shoulder as he's doing this. After a few minutes, you notice he appears to be making like a map of some sort, like a big old map. And eventually he hands it back to you, and you can tell like this is very like well drawn, very well crafted. This looks like somebody that like has some experience doing this. And it appears to be roughly of the island and has a path leading from where you currently are to some other point. Roll me a quick survival, an incredibly low DC survival check to see what whether you can line up to figure out what this is.
It's a 12.
Okay, that works out perfectly. So you take this map and you are like looking over it, and it takes nary but a moment for you to recognize that this map looks very familiar, because it looks incredibly much like the map that you had in your bag right now, that you have rolled up in your bag. And what's more is you notice that the path that he has indicated goes from where you are right now, and he has these little like these little arrows that repeat, continuing along away from you, straight back the way you came, and to the shore that you guys had come from.
So you want us to leave?
With that, Celeste like pushes the sword a little bit farther forward, and the captain like shaking his head and waving his arms and is like, no. And he's pointing at the mansion that's drawn on the map. He's pointing all around, and you see his mouth still moving, his mouth still waggling, and he points out down that road, and he seems to be indicating like going in that direction, but he's not really explaining why.
What else is in this house?
With that, you see the jaw move again, and he just holds up his hands and does like this, holds up like sort of the zero shape, and then just sort of flicks his hand off into the air.
Are there more of people like you?
You see his shoulders sort of like sag, like he's sighing almost, and he or she is sighing almost, and he like tilts his head, opens his jaw like, no.
I heard something running downstairs.
He points at his chest. That was us.
There's like no more. So there's no more of him. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna ask Celeste to pick him up.
Okay. She does that immediately.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
And we're gonna walk off into the direction that the other captain ran in.
Okay. You walk off towards the direction that the other captain ran, and he's limping a bit, and so it's pretty easy for Remi to track him, and he appears to be going exactly the way that you guys came from initially. And as you guys continue on that way, it becomes pretty clear he is heading back towards the shore that you guys came from, and you manage to keep a pretty... I'm just wrapping things up. You guys managed to keep a pretty safe distance, so he doesn't notice you guys following him for a while. Maybe Celeste like walks a little bit slower so that the clanking of her armor doesn't give you away. But you continue on heading steadily in that direction, ever following the tracks of this limping skeletal figure running towards the shore. So night is approaching by this point. Actually, night is probably here by this point, by the time that you reach the water, and the pirate captain on Celeste's shoulder taps her chest, like the plate armor, and gets your attention, and then points off down the shore a little bit, past that very large shipwreck with the big sails that are mostly in tatters, indicating off in that direction.
Okay, we'll go in that direction.
Cool. So as you approach that direction, you round that shipwreck, which was a fair bit away from where you guys had docked, pretty far off. And behind it is a relatively small schooner that is in actually pretty great shape. It is seaworthy. It's got like a nice little sail on it. And on the deck of that ship, you see a figure with a hook for a hand trying their darndest to prep the sails by themselves.
All right, we are going to run up onto the schooner.
Nice. And what do you do in that moment?
I'm going to tell him to stop.
Okay. Roll me an intimidation, I would say.
Oh, yeah. I'm so good at intimidation.
I would say you have an advantage at this because, like, you just, like, wrecked all of his people.
All right. That's a 21.
21. Nice.
Yeah.
And I'll have him roll a wisdom, I guess, would be contest would be the proper thing to do. Oh, fuck. 21 versus a critical failure.
Oh, gosh.
So you run up the gangplank, I believe is the word, onto this boat. Describe to me like how you look as you like rush out onto this boat.
It's probably kind of scary because, you know, she's got like horns, it's dark, you probably can't see very well. She's got like an arcane focus, she has a tail. Probably just looks like the devil.
Nice.
Right? Like it just looks like Satan is coming onto his boat. So I think to be extra intimidating, I'm going to use thaumaturgy, and that's going to make my voice boom 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. It's just going to be like a really loud, like God-like stop.
Wonderful. So yeah, as you rush on, this figure like turns around. They had been trying their best to like get those sails up, like I had mentioned, and they see you, and then they just immediately turn around and like jump off the side of the boat to get away from you. Just to like jump into the water, and you hear them hit the water, and then just there's a moment of like splashing, and then nothing.
Oh God.
Remi and Celeste both board the ship. Celeste still just like casually with this pirate skeleton draped over their shoulder. They join you up there, and you start looking around the boat. And it doesn't take too long before you find all sorts of gold and antiques and all sorts of things that of the same style, the same aesthetic as those knives and the chandelier and everything else that had been in that mansion. You just find it all on the under the deck of this boat, waiting for you and waiting for your crew to come grab and bring back over to your ship. And so you have found just this massive haul of stuff, and it didn't quite go maybe as easy as you might have hoped, but so all in all, a very, very lovely haul.
And a new skeleton friend.
Yeah, so do you think that you take this person on as like a member of your crew? Like, what do you think you do after this?
Yeah, I think he can come with us. We'll ask him.
I think that he is more than happy to come along with you in this moment, at least for now. So yeah, what do you think after this point, Celeste and Remi and Larissa? What do you think you guys all do when you guys leave here? Do you try to convince them to join your crew? Do you go back to mainland, or are you staying around the Salton Sea? What's your plan?
I think I'm gonna ask them if they want to join the crew.
And I think they come along. They're like, yeah, this is a good time. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end it for today.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Faye. This has been a delightful time. Do you have anything you would like to share with the audience? Do you want to have anything that you want to plug at the very end of this show?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun to play as Larissa, a lot of fun to fight skeletons and make a skeleton friend. And thank you for all of my dad jokes that you allowed me to put into the actual game today. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
A few things that I like to plug. You can find me on Twitter if you like and follow me. I normally tweet about Dungeons and Dragons things. So you can find me on Twitter at Captain Fake Eye. I also play in a podcast about D&D called How the Quest Was Won. So you can go on Twitter and follow us there at How the Quest, or find us on iTunes or Spotify or any other podcatcher that you please. And also Misfits Guide to Adventuring is my other podcast that I also play in, and is also a D&D actual play podcast that you can find on Twitter at Misfits Guide, as well as at Cast O Many Things, which is where the other members and I also try out other tabletop role-playing games other than D&D.
Oh, that's so good. What's one that you have like come across that you guys particularly all really liked?
So we played Mouse Guard. We were thinking about playing like Star Wars, like The Force and Destiny.
Oh, I've been playing that recently.
And that seems fun. My favorite so far is actually one that I didn't play on there. I played Masks, and I really, really liked Masks. So being teenage superheroes is always fun.
That's very good. All right. Well, thank you again, Faye, for joining us today. And thank you, everybody, for joining us, all of you listeners, for coming along. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. So with that, I think we're going to pitter-patter on out of here.
Bye.
Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
The Scavengers Network.
Creator-driven,
community-focused,
treasured content. Toon Link saw Kirby walking into the kitchen wearing a sleep cap. Kirby, did you steal the microwave? Oh, hello there, gentle listener. I didn't hear you there. You caught me reading the longest written work in the English language, The Subspace Emissaries' World's Conquest, a Super Smash Bros. Fan fiction. But let's set that aside for now.
To advertise our podcast. Hi, I'm Beth.
And I'm Max.
And we're the hosts of Fan and Ball, a podcast about fandom, their history and culture,
The people and things they create.
and everything in between.
Listen bi-weekly on Wednesdays on the Scavengers Network or wherever you find your podcasts.
This is going to get cut and put in the bloopers.
This is the sort of stuff that gets cut out. Would he be able to write? I assume so. Wow, this was quite an excellent adventure. My only complaint is maybe next time more cowbell.